Black Myth Zhong Kui looks absolutely insane. But after watching the new 15-minute gameplay reveal, there's one thing I really hope game science doesn't do. I don't want Zhong Kui to become another Wukong. And honestly, I think that's a good thing, because Zhong Kui already has the potential to become something completely different. Now, let's get one thing straight first. I absolutely loved Black Myth Wukong. The combat, animations, sound design, enemy encounters, transformations, the atmosphere. Everything came together incredibly well. So when I say Zhong Kui feels familiar in certain areas, I'm not saying that's necessarily bad. This is still Black Myth. You want that recognizable combat feel and atmosphere. You want those huge cinematic encounters that made Wukong so special. And from what we've seen so far, game science clearly hasn't abandoned that formula. But Zhong Kui needs its own identity. And one of the first things I noticed was something really small: the sound design. Some of the dodge sounds immediately reminded me of Wukong. And I noticed similar things with certain attack sounds as well. Now, personally, I don't think they need to completely change everything. Having a recognizable Black Myth sound signature is a good thing. But I would love to hear slightly different versions of those sounds in Zhong Kui, especially the dodge. Keep the same satisfying impact, but give it a different sound. Give the attacks their own audio personality, because these little details are what make a character feel different. Zhong Kui should sound like Zhong Kui. And the good news is, I think game science is already moving in the right direction. The gameplay we've seen doesn't simply look like Wukong with a different character model. We're seeing a different protagonist, a sword-focused combat style, new enemies, new encounters, and a completely different visual atmosphere. And that's what excites me. Game science doesn't need to throw away everything that worked in Wukong. They just need to evolve it. Take what worked, improve it, and build something that belongs to Zhong Kui. If every Black Myth game simply tries to recreate Wukong, eventually people are going to start asking, what's actually different? But if game science can make every game feel familiar while still having its own combat identity, sound design, characters, and atmosphere, Wukong can be Wukong. Zhong Kui can be Zhong Kui. So personally, I don't want Zhong Kui to replace Wukong. I don't want it to be Wukong 2 with a different protagonist. I wanted to take everything that made Wukong great and then do something new with it. If game science gets those small details right, especially the sound design, I honestly think Zhong Kui could carve out its own place in the Black Myth universe. But what do you think? Do you want Zhong Kui to keep that familiar Wukong feel? Or do you want game science to make it much more different?